A short time ago in Jerusalem, an unusual and unexplained event, an unusual and inexplicable event that has thrown the city and the whole world in a state of amazement. A mysterious radiance descended from the heavens, accompanied by a deep and disturbing sound that silenced even the most skeptical. Soon after the earthquake, the holy city threatening the famous dome of the cliffs. This momentous event took place amidst persistent tensions in the region of the Gaza conflict and constant uncertainty in Israel. But what really captured the world's attention was the report of celestial phenomena. Residents of Jerusalem claimed to have seen the divine figures of Jesus and an angel walking through the streets. Jesus was described as a radiant presence attracting a bewildered crowds, while the angels descended from heaven, creating a breathtaking the scene that actually took place in. Could this event be a sign of time or something deeper and meaningful? Stay tuned as we unraveling the mysteries of this incredible phenomenon. Let's get to the bottom of everything in this video. Normally a story like this would be considered fantastic, but this one, with live images and video captured attending the event, has caused both amazement and excitement, raising profound questions. What message this divine visitation? Why Jerusalem is a city steeped in centuries of prayer and contested claims is the scene of this incredible. On a bright sunny day, Jerusalem witnessed an unforgettable event on Mount of Olives. The city, with its ancient walls and historic sites, was filled with the sounds of the daily life of pilgrims, tourists and locals. But in the midst of the daily bustle, extraordinary events unfolded, drew the attention of all present. Without warning, the blue sky above the Mount of Olives shone with a light that was not earthly. This radiant glow became more and more intense and bright, attracting the eyes of all around. The light seemed centered on a single high point at the top, causing a sense of anticipation and wonder as they looked upward. The Holy Bible reports many miraculous events that took place in Jerusalem on the Mount of Olives. Jesus often taught and prayed. It is also the place where he ascended, as reported in Acts 1-12. This recent phenomenon is a sign of the return of Jesus as described in several Bibles. More to the point, today we are living in the difficult days of the code. Prophecies are being fulfilled, but many are not know about what's happening in the world, which is why I've made my digital book available, Biblical Prophecy End Time Disclosure, and I've made it available. Musical note download right now on the first musical note attached comment. This book will help you unravel all the mysteries of biblical prophecy that will change your life. Click on the first posted comment because we have very few units. Click right now and get your book digitally. Modern sources describe a radiant figure believed by many to be Jesus walking through the streets of Jerusalem, accompanied by angels descending from. This unique event is reminiscent the vision of the book of Revelation and the prophecies of the Old Testament. The appearance of the angels is reminiscent of the narrative of Daniel chapter 10 verse 5-6, where a man is described dressed in Nina's garments and with a face shining like lightning. But why now? Why? Jerusalem is a city already of such religious and historical significance. Jesus declared in Matthew chapter 24 verse 30 that the sign of the Son of Man shall appear in heaven, and the ignition of this prophecy is a heavenly phenomenon occurring in the heart of a historic and spiritual city. Invites us to deep reflection. The Bible is full of accounts of God's direct interaction with humanity, from the vision of Isaiah to the Transfiguration, Jesus' Transfiguration. This new event could very well be a continuation of that divine narrative. When we consider the significance of this event, one question remains. The question: what is the message of this divine visitation will we witness? The beginning of a new chapter of sacred, of history. Stay with us as we explore the mysteries and meanings of this incredible, a radiant figure clad in dazzling white, clothed in a dazzling white garment, slowly descended from the heavens. This celestial being was surrounded by other luminous forms with ethereal wings and serene facial expressions clearly resembling angels. The sight was realistic, evoking in the audience a profound sense of wonder and awe. The first witnesses of this miraculous event were a group pilgrims. These devout travelers who had come from distant countries to follow in the footsteps of their faith were gripped by the excitement of a figure descending from the sky. Strikingly resembled the traditional depictions of Jesus Christ. His long hair, thick beard and intense gaze were instantly recognizable, matching the image that a generation of believers. The Holy Bible is filled with descriptions of heavenly phenomena and divine manifestations. In Luke 24:50-51 we read of the ascension of Jesus when he blessed his disciples and was taken into heaven. Could this recent event be a reflection of that historical? The angels accompanying the heavenly figure is reminiscent of countless biblical passages that mention angelic beings who appear to guide, protect and proclaims 9-14 where the angels announced to the shepherds the birth Jesus in front of the pilgrims. A heavenly figure and angels descended on the streets of Jerusalem, creating a scene that seemed to be straight out of the sacred scripture. The descriptions of the angels are reminiscent. Daniel's vision where he sees a heavenly being with a face shining like lightning and eyes like torches of fire. Daniel 10:5-6 A central figure that many believe to be a lubber around him. His presence brought peace and wonder, and many have wondered about the significance of this. Why Jerusalem, this city with its rich history of sacred events, is mentioned in the Bible as a special place in the eyes of God. Isaiah 2:3 says, "Many people will come and say, let us go up to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and we may walk in his. For the law shall come out of Zion, and the word of the Lord out of Jerusalem." Elam. Divine events, and this new event seems to continue this sacred tradition. The modern descriptions of this celestial phenomenon make us to reflect on biblical history and its continuing influence on the lives. The Bible mentions several appearances of Jesus after his resurrection. John 20:29 where he appears to the disciples. Could this new event in Jerusalem could be a sign of the times, a divine message to humanity? In Matthew's Gospel 2430 minutes Jesus speaks of the sign of the appearance of the Son of Man in heaven. But of significance when we reflect on this event, one question remains. The message of this divine visitation will we witness the beginning of a new chapter of sacred, of history. This extraordinary event in Jerusalem calls us to examine the Holy Scriptures, an understanding of the sign, of the time. Stay with us as we explore the mysteries and meanings of this incredible. The news of the miraculous event quickly spread through the crowds, attracting more people whose hearts were pounding with excitement and disbelief. The whole scene seemed magical, as if time itself had stopped to allow this divine moment to happen. The shining figure radiated an inner light that seemed to extend beyond the physical world, flooding all spaces with a warm, soothing radiance. In the presence of such divine apparition, the atmosphere filled with a palpable sense of holiness and of awe as people knelt down, Tears flowed down their faces as they gazed upon the celestial beings. Prayers, hymns, and shouts of praise filled the air, creating a symphony of devotion that echoed throughout the ancient city. Watching this extraordinary event, Jerusalem, the city is deeply steeped with biblical history and sacred significance, has added an unprecedented level of meaning. The Mount of Olives, already a place of deep spiritual resonance, has become the stage for a divine encounter that will forever be remembered by those who were fortunate enough to witness. While the luminous figure and angelic beings descended, the crowd remained mesmerized, unable to look away their gaze from the marvelous spectacle, as if the very heavens themselves had opened up, allowing a glimpse of the divine touch the earthly. The Holy Bible reports many miraculous events and encounters with God. For example, in the Gospel of Matthew 17:19 we read of the transfiguration of Jesus, where he appears radiant and accompanied by Moses and Elijah, while the voice of the heaven proclaims, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." This new event in Jerusalem reflected these biblical manifestations, reminding us of the ongoing interaction between the divine and the human presence of a radiant figure, whom many believed to be Jesus, and the angels reminded the audience of the many of the biblical promises. In John chapter 14 verse 3, Jesus said, "And when I have go and prepare a place for you, I will come again, and I will take you to myself, that you may be there." Where this miraculous event caused many people to wonder if they had witnessed the fulfillment of these, when the heavenly light descended from the Mount of Olives. The mountain known as the site of the ascension of Jesus, as described in Acts chapter 1 verse 12, became even more significant. The divine radiance emanating from the heavenly figure seemed to be imbued with a message of hope and spiritual renewal. Those present wondered the question, what could be the purpose of this divine visitation? People's reactions ranged from tears of joy to expressions of awe. The Bible often describes encounters with the divine as moments of profound transformation and of introspection. In Isaiah 6p the prophet exclaims, "Woe me, I perish, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell among a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King of the Lord of hosts." This event in Jerusalem brought out similar feelings, where the encounter with the sacred evoked deep personal reflection. When we reflect on this event, one question remains: what is the message of this divine visitation? Will we witness the beginning of a new chapter of history? This extraordinary event in Jerusalem calls us to look deeper, to search the scriptures, and to seek to understand the signs of the time. Stay with us as we explore the mysteries and meanings of this moment filled with awe and wonder confirmed the faith of many and inspired a new sense of spiritual awakening in the days, months, and years. The story of the celestial landing on Leon's mountain will be retold by countless times. It will be a testament of the enduring power of faith and belief in miracles for those who witnessed it up close. The memory of that bright sunny day in Jerusalem will forever be a cherished and transformative experience of the moment when deity were angry and left an indelible mark on their souls. A bright sunny day in Jerusalem took an unforgettable turn on the Mount of Olives. Mount of Olives, the bustling city with its ancient walls and historic sites, was filled with the sounds of pilgrims, tourists, and locals going about their daily business. However, amidst the daily bustle, an extraordinary event began to unfold, attracted the attention of all present. Without warning, the blue sky above the Mount of Olives shone with a light that was not earthly. This radiant glow became more and more intense and bright, attracting the eyes of all around. The light seemed centered on a single high point at the top, causing the audience to feel of anticipation and awe as they looked upward. The Holy Bible is filled with descriptions of miraculous events and divine encounters that took place in Jerusalem, such as Mount of Olives, a place of profound spiritual resonance. Jesus prayed there before his arrest as reported in the Gospel of Matthew 26, 3646, and also ascended to heaven from there, as described in Acts 1, 9-12. Could this recent event be a continuation of these divine manifestations? A radiant figure wrapped in dazzling white garment slowly descended from the heavens. This celestial being was surrounded by other radiant forms with their ethereal wings and serene facial expressions undoubtedly like angels. The sight was at once majestic, evoking in the spectators a deep sense of wonder and awe. The first witnesses of this marvelous spectacle were a group pilgrims. These devout travelers who had come from distant countries to follow in the footsteps of their faith were gripped by the excitement of the figure. Strikingly resembled the traditional depiction of Jesus Christ. His long hair, thick beard and intense gaze were instantly recognizable, matching the image that a generation has learned, appreciated by a generation of believers. A heavenly light illuminated the stage and the divine figures. The presence of a divine figure, accompanied by angels, was reminiscent of the descriptions of encounters of the sacred in Luke chapter 2-14. The angels appeared to the shepherds to announce the birth of Jesus by singing praises and bringing good. This new vision seemed to reflected these manifestations, reminding everyone present of the interplay between the divine and the human. In front of the pilgrims, a celestial figure and angels descended on the streets of Jerusalem, creating a scene that seemed to be straight out of the Holy Scripture. The Mount of Olives, which has already become a place of deep spiritual resonance, became the stage for a divine encounter that will forever be remembered by those who were fortunate enough to witness it. This event made many to kneel, and tears streamed down their faces as they gazed upon the celestial beings. Prayers, hymns and shouts of praise filled the air, creating a symphony of koto-e devotion throughout the descriptions of the angels throughout the ancient city are reminiscent. Daniel's vision, where he sees a being with a face shining like lightning and eyes like torches of fire. Daniel 10:5. 6. The central figure, whom many think is Jesus. Of the people gathering around him, crowds, his presence brought peace and wonder, and many have wondered about the significance of this. Why Jerusalem, this city with its rich history of sacred events, is often mentioned in the Bible as a special place in the eyes God. In Isaiah chapter 2 says, many people will come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mount of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and we may walk in his." Musical note: for the law shall come out of Zion, and the word musical note, the word of the Lord out of musical note. Jerusalem has been the site of many divine events, and this new event seems to continue that sacred tradition. Modern descriptions of the celestial phenomenon make us to reflect on biblical history and its continuing impact on the lives. The Bible mentions several appearances of Jesus after his resurrection. For example, in John chapter 20:29, where he appears to the disciples. Could this new event in Jerusalem could be a sign of the times? A divine message to mankind. In the Gospel of Matthew 24:30, Jesus speaks of the sign of the appearance of the Son of Man in heaven, a moment of great spiritual significance. As we reflect on this event, One question remains: what is the message of this divine visitation? Will we witness the beginning of a new chapter of sacred, of history? This extraordinary event in Jerusalem calls us to look deeper, to search the scriptures and to seek for an understanding of many. Stay with us as we explore the mysteries and meanings of this incredible. The first witnesses to this marvelous spectacle was witnessed by a group pilgrims, these devout travelers who had come from distant countries in order to